god, hi. Welcome back to the Crow Club. If you couldn't tell by my obnoxious blush and horribly fake freckles, we're going back in time. We are traveling back through all of my saved videos on TikTok, going through all the books I've ever saved, and we're going to see if they're going to the TBR or the TBD. We're going to read them, or we're going to dump them. So buckle in, put on too much blush, and let's scroll to the depths of TikTok. At this current point in time, I have 3,298 videos saved. So we're going from today, November 23rd, 2025, all the way back to 2020. Find the oldest video I've ever saved. I switched to my repost and now I have to start over. Quit distracting me. Unfortunately, I have great taste, so I can't even imagine unfavoring any of these. If I don't scroll like this, I will flip between the two other things, so don't laugh at me. I'm scrolling like a 95-year-old lady because I have to. We are... I started too early. There! I started that at 2:07. It is now 2:14. The third video I saved is a book rec video. So let's watch it and then we'll see if there's any books in there that I want to read. Okay, the first one is called Prisoners of Night and Fog. It's a historical fiction. It has Nazis, Hitler's granddaughter, and a forbidden romance. I do fear that that might be a dump. Another fantasy called Winter Spell. It's a Nutcracker retelling. Sexy AF. Winter vibes. Another fantasy. Poison. Princess Bride cuteness. Snarky to the max. And a pig sidekick. Those are the only three in that video. This is from April of 2020. I'm nervous to jump out of my TikTok app into my Goodreads app to look any of these up. So I'm gonna go get my laptop actually, and we'll just look it up on Goodreads that way. The sun was cooking me up a little bit. I had to close the blinds. Okay, I had to reset some passwords, but we're in. Hacker voice. Okay, what was the first one? Prisoner of Night and Fog. These are book recs by a TikTok creator called Sarah Rush. I don't know. It's Raasch. A lot of consonants. Prisoner of Night and Fog. This is the Nazi one. In 1930s Munich, danger lurks behind dark corners, and secrets are buried deep within the city. But Gretchen Mueller, who grew up in the National Socialist Party under the wing of her Uncle Dolph, has been shielded from that side of society ever since her father traded his life for Dolph's. And Gretchen is his favorite, his pet. Uncle Dolph is no other than Adolf Hitler. I can't fucking... And Gretchen follows his every command until she meets a fearless and handsome young Jewish reporter named Daniel Cohen. Yeah, that's gonna be a dump. That's a TBD. Nothing about that sounded fun for me. Sorry. The next was Winter Spell, Nutcracker retelling, sexy AF. The clock chimes midnight. A curse breaks, and a girl meets a prince. But what follows is not all sweetness and sugar plums. New York City, 1899. Clara Stoll, the mayor's ever-proper daughter, leads a double life. Since her mother's murder, why is everyone murdered? She has secretly trained in self-defense with the mysterious Drosselmeyer. Then, on Christmas Eve, disaster strikes. Her home is destroyed, her father abducted, by beings distinctly not human. To find him, Clara must join the war-ravaged land of Cain. Her only companion is the dethroned Prince Nicholas, bound by a wicked curse. The dangerous, seductive fairy queen, Anise. Anise is also the flavoring used for black licorice. Just so we're all on the same page. I think I'm gonna dump it. I think I have enough Christmas books written by white women to read. Okay, the last one is Poison, with Princess Bride cuteness, snarky to the max, and a pig sidekick. 16-year-old Kyra, a highly skilled potions master, is the only one who knows her kingdom is on the verge of destruction, which means she's the only one who can save it. Faced with no other choice, Kira decides to do what she does best, poison the kingdom's future ruler, who also happens to be her former best friend. But for the first time ever, her poisoned dart misses. Now a fugitive instead of a hero, Kira is caught in a game of hide and seek with the king's army and her potioner ex-boyfriend, Hal. At least she's not alone, armed with her vital potions, a too cute pig, and Fred, the charming adventurer she can't stop thinking about. Kira is determined to get herself a second chance at murder. Kira is not your typical murderer, and she's certainly no damsel in distress. She's the lovable and quick-witted hero of a romantic novel that has all the right ingredients to make teen girls swoon. I do fear I am no longer the target audience for that one, so that's also going to be a dump. Alright, that was all 3 in that first video, so we're just going to unsave it, and we're going to move on. The next one I have saved is by the same TikTok creator. Book Recs based on your favorite Disney princess. Belle's is Cruel Beauty, Tiana is Kingdom of Souls, Jasmine's is Exquisite Captive, Merida is Ever the Hunted, Sleeping Beauty is Before I Disappear. She put Elena in here, which is cool. Woven in Moonlight. That one is actually by an author that I really like, so that one will probably get TBR. Spoiler alert. Ariel is Sea Fire. Elsa is Snow Like Ashes. Rapunzel's is called Nil. Cinderella is The Crown's Game. That was so many. My favorite princess is Sleeping Beauty. What can I say? She was hot. And Ariel was, I think, my favorite when I was a little kid. Cruel Beauty was one that I had seen many, many a times. It has a very unique cover. If I ever figure out how to put images in a video, I would be unstoppable. It was like a spiral staircase with like a rose. Since birth, Nyx has been betrothed to the evil ruler of her kingdom, all because of foolish bargains struck by her father. And since birth, she has been trained to kill him. With no choice but to fulfill her duty, Nyx resents her family for never trying to save her and hates herself for wanting to escape her fate. Still, on her 17th birthday, Nyx abandons everything she's ever known to marry the all-powerful, immortal Ignifex. Her plan? Seduce him, destroy his enchanted castle, and break the 900-year-old curse he put on her people. But Ignifex, what a fucking name, was not all Nyx expected. A strangely charming lord beguiles her, and his castle, the shifting maze of magical rooms, enthralls her. As Nyx searches for a way to free her homeland by uncovering Ignifex's secrets, she finds herself unwillingly drawn to him. Even if she could bring herself to love her sworn enemy, how can she refuse her duty to kill him? With time running out, Nyx must decide what is more important, the future of her kingdom or the man she was never supposed to love. That sounds kind of good. You know what? Let's TBR it. That sounded pretty good. I read Uprooted. That was really good. Had a spooky castle thing that like swirled around. So we'll TBR that one. Okay. Tiana had Kingdom of Souls, which looks pretty impressive. I do fear that this was chosen because the author and the main character are black. It doesn't immediately look like it has anything to do with Princess and the Frog. A girl with no gifts must bargain for the power to fight her mother's dark schemes, even if the price is her life. Heir to 2 powerful lines of witch doctors, Aura yearns for magic of her own, yet she fails at bone magic, fails to call upon her ancestors, and fails to live up to her family's legacy. Under the disapproving eye of her mother, the kingdom's most powerful priestess and seer, she fears she may never be good enough. But when the kingdom's children begin to disappear, Aura is desperate enough to turn to a forbidden, dangerous ritual. She has no magic of her own, she'll have to buy it, trading away years of her own life. Aura's borrowed power reveals a nightmarish betrayal, and on its heels, rising tide of darkness that threatens to consume her and all that she loves. Not bad. Less a little Princess and the Froggy, but like Tiana isn't the one to make a bargain in the first place. Like she's not the one to do all this, and her mom loves her. Just because something is black and has witches doesn't mean it's inherently Tiana coded. You know, like Tiana's main attributes were that she was like family oriented. Like her whole thing was pursuing her dream. Like all she wanted was to be able to have her restaurant. She didn't have anything to do with magic until Naveen. That one sounds pretty good on its own, I would say. I'm gonna TBR it, but not because I think it reminds me of Tiana, because I think it sounds good. Okay, Jasmine's was Exquisite Captive. Forced to obey her master, compelled to help her enemy, determined to free herself. Immediately, it just sounds like it's that one scene from Aladdin where Jasmine is held captive. Like that's the whole vibe. That's why this book was chosen for Jasmine. Nothing else, just, you know, when she was stripped of her autonomy. Sorry, Sorry, getting too woke. Nalia is a genie of tremendous ancient power, the only survivor of a coup that nearly killed everyone she loved. Stuffed into a bottle, I take it back. I take it back. Although Jasmine was never the genie. I digress. Stuffed into a bottle and sold by a slave trader, she's now in hiding on the Dark Caravan, a lucrative genie slave trade between Argenia and Earth, where jinn are forced to grant wishes and obey their human masters' every command. She'd give almost anything to be free of her gold shackles. So it's literally an Aladdin retelling, but with Jasmine as the genie. Enter Raif, the enigmatic leader of Argenia's revolution and Nalia's sworn enemy. Her promises to he's not gay. Don't even think that. He promises to free Nalia from her master so she can return to her ravaged homeland and free her imprisoned brother, all for an unbearably high price. Nalia is not sure she can trust him, but Raif's her only hope of escape. Inspired by Arabian Nights, exquisite captive brings to life the deliciously seductive world where a wish can be a curse, and shadows are something safer than light. That one's going to be a dumped for me. Hold on. It is also written by someone who looks extremely white. And I do hesitate to read books about people of color coming from a certain marginalized community that are written by white women. Like, hey, we have a place, and yes, we should draw attention to, and we should write about people of color as well, but we should not also be the only ones sharing their story. So if I'm going to read a book about genies and jinn, I would like to read it by someone who is of that culture. Merida's was ever the hunted. 17-year-old Britta Flannery is at ease only in the woods with her dagger and bow. No arrows, just a bow. She spends her days tracking criminals alongside her father, the legendary bounty hunter for the king of Malam? Never learned how to read. That is until her father is murdered. Now outcast and alone, having no rights to her father's land or inheritance, she seeks refuge where she feels the most safe, the Everwoods. When Britta is caught poaching by the royal guard, instead of facing the noose, she is offered a deal, her freedom in exchange for her father's killer. However, it's not so simple. The alleged killer is none other than Cohen McKay, her father's former apprentice. She must go on a dangerous quest in a world of warring kingdoms, mad kings, and dark magic to find the real killer. But Britta wields more power than she knows, and soon she will learn what she has always made her different will make her a daunting and dangerous force. It doesn't sound bad. It just also, it doesn't grab me, you know? This one's a no for me. To be dumped. This looks like my dating history. Loser after loser after loser. Okay, the Sleeping Beauty one is called Before I Disappear. An action-packed, I hate action books, YA novel where a young woman has to find her little brother after her town disappeared into thin air. Rose Montgomery parks her family's trailer in Fort Glory, Oregon, with one to carve out a new life for herself and her little brother Charlie. They need a fresh start for their family. She thinks she's finally found it in a town where nobody knows them. But Rose's plans come crashing down when an instant Fort Glory disappears and every person in town vanishes into thin air, including Charlie. Rose and 4 other teens become trapped in a fold, a patch of woods caught halfway between the real world and the lost town. In the fold, a mysterious force suspends the laws of physics and everyone's inner darkness has the power to kill. To survive the fold, Rose must unravel the clues Charlie sends from the missing town. And Rose has to find Charlie soon or he'll be gone forever. How is this related to Sleeping Beauty? Quickly, her name is Rose? I've heard enough. We're not TBRing this. Okay, Elena, the only princess I've never consumed any media for, except for her theme song. This is the only book that looked promising. It's called Woven in Moonlight. I don't know anything about Elena, so I do not know if this has anything to do with her at all, if this reflects her at all. A lush tapestry of magic, romance, and revolution, drawing inspiration from Bolivian politics and history. Jimena is the decoy condesa, a stand-in for the last remaining Illustrian royal. 3 people lost everything when the usurper, Atok, used an ancient relic to summon ghosts and drive the Illustrians from La Ciudad. Jimena, motivated by her insatiable thirst for revenge and her rare ability to spin thread from moonlight. I'm just gonna TBR this. I've heard enough. It's added to the list. Ariel's was called Seafire after her family is killed by corrupt warlord Arik Aether, and his bloodthirsty army of bullets. That's what they're called, bullets with a capital B. Caledonia Styx is left to chart her own course after the dangerous and deadly seas. She captains her ship and the Moors Navis with a crew of girls and women just like her who have lost their families and homes because of Arik and his men. The crew has one mission: stay alive and take down Aric's armed and armored fleets. But when Caledonia's best friend and second in command barely survives an attack thanks to help from a bullet, capital B, looking to defect, Caledonia finds herself questioning whether to let him join our crew. Is the boy the key to taking down Aric Athair once and for all? Or will he threaten everything the women of Morris Navis have worked for? It doesn't sound bad. It's also not giving Ariel because she's a mermaid. What's wrong with a mermaid book? Why can't we have a mermaid book? Is that too on the nose? Am I just being picky about these? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna TBD it. I think Elsa's book, Snow Like Ashes, is one I did have, and then I gave it away because I was never going to read it. Snow Like Ashes. 16 years ago, the kingdom of winter was conquered and its citizens enslaved, leaving them without magic or a monarch. Now, the Winterians' only hope for freedom is the 8 survivors who managed to escape, and who have been waiting for the opportunity to steal back winter's magic and rebuild the kingdom ever since. Orphaned as an infant during winter's defeat, Miria has lived her whole life as a refugee, raised by winter's general, Sir. His name is Sir. Training to be a warrior and desperately in love with her best friend and future king, Mather, like Mater. I can't do this. She would do anything to help her kingdom rise to power again. Nothing about it was, this is the book by the woman who, this is that TikTok lady's book. The one who made this video, this is her book. Okay. I'm locked in now. I get why it's like that. I was like, this looks familiar. That's why I thought I owned it already. So I saw her book a million times in 2020. Okay, 2 left. Rapunzel's. It's literally, I think, just called Nil. Is Nil the person? Oh, it's an island. On the mysterious island of Nil, the rules are set. You have 1 year, exactly 365 days to escape or you die. 17-year-old Charlie doesn't know the rules. She doesn't even know where she is. The last thing she remembers is blacking out, and when she wakes up, she's lying naked in an empty rock field. Lost and alone, Charlie finds no signs of other people until she meets Thad, the gorgeous leader of a clan of teenager refugees. Soon, Charlie learns that leaving the island is harder than she thought. So is falling in love. With Thad's time running out, Charlie realizes to save their future, Charlie must first save him. It doesn't sound bad. I just don't think I could live in a world where the 2 main characters that are supposed to be in love are named Charlie and Thad. I'm sorry. TBD'd. And finally we have Cinderella, the Crown's Game. Vika Andreeva can summon snow and turn ash to gold. Nikolai, carry mauve, can see through walls and conjure bridges out of thin air. They are enchanters, the only 2 in Russia. So they have to compete in an ancient duel of magic skill. In what way is this like Cinderella? Like, I would probably be fine with a lot of these books if they were not advertised to me like something that they're not. Why do we need 2 books for this? I'm not reading this. I'm sorry. In what world do you need 2 books for 1 magical game? Just read The Night Circus. Okay, we're like way past the amount of time I thought this video would take. We're just gonna do 1 more. This one is so old, the audio has been like discontinued, so there's no audio for this one. Did you write a YA fantasy novel at 17? Is it full of Indian mythology and representation? Guess who got her advanced copy in the mail today? The Bookweaver's Daughter. The Bookkeeper's Daughter. Is that what I said? That doesn't feel right. That's not coming up. Weaver, not keeper. Has a 2.92. Oh no. Rarely on Goodreads do you see a book under a 3. In the ancient Indian kingdom of Kashmira, stories don't begin with once upon a time. Instead, Kashmiris starts a woman's story with those who came before her, parents, grandparents, ancestors. For 14-year-old Rhea, her story always starts the same, with the fabled line of bookweavers, tracing centuries back to the lost yogis, the mythical guardians of Kashmiri culture who created the world itself. As a result, Rhea's entire life has been shaped by words of mystique and mythology, words of magic that allow her father, the bookweaver, to bring his stories to life, words of power that make him the target of tyrants, will stop at nothing to destroy magic. I read it out loud. I don't understand what happened. Unfortunately, even the description I don't feel like was well written. I'm sure it could have been if it had a couple more editors look at it. The very first review says it was meant for a non-Desi readership. The general consensus is that it has a poor representation of Indian culture, problematic content that is offensive to the history and culture climate in Kashmir. Okay, so we're gonna have to dump this one. I'm so sorry to the young woman that wrote it. I hope that you find your voice and that it is stronger for the future. Okay, I know that was going to be my last video. The one right after it was another one by person that first two were by. And this was like book recs by my friend authors. And like half the books from the first video were in here. So I don't feel like she's a credible source. I'm so sorry. It just isn't giving credibility. So I'm gonna make an executive decision to unfavor all videos by her going forward. RIP. Well, we did it. We scrolled all the way back to the beginnings of my TikTok addiction, and we went through a couple videos trying to find some book recs. Out of the 5 billion that it felt like I saw, I put 3 on my TBR. Oh wow, this was fun. If you have any book recs, if you saw any of these that I dumped that you said, no, wait, hold up, bitch, that's actually so good, you should read it, let me know. If not, oh well. Thank you for coming on this journey, this cleansing, healing journey. We are almost done with November. That means we're almost done with Indigenous Peoples Month. I finished braiding sweetgrass. I'm a little over halfway through A Snake Falls to Earth, and our last pick is Never Whistle at Night. If you have any recommendations, let me know. If you did anything fun, let me know. If you want to leave a hate comment, go ahead. I did get a hate comment for my Palestine video. I got compared to Nick Fuentes, and then I got called like a woke liberal. So like by the same person. Okay, pick a lane. Am I conservative piece of shit, or am I a woke liberal? Make up your mind, bro. I didn't even engage. All I said was, free Palestine. What are you gonna do? You can't engage with someone whose intelligence level is not on the same level as yours, who's not living in the same reality as you. You will never, ever, ever come to a conclusion. Free Palestine and fuck ICE. Have a great day. Read something. I love you.